Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Pop Recap. I'm Sean.
I'm Alex.
And today we're going to recap Game of Thrones season number 4.
This is probably my favorite season
Yes,
so far.
Of the first 4, I would 100% agree with you.
Oh, what's your favorite season?
Out of all of them, I mean, let's just stick with the ones we've talked about so far. So I would say, as of right now, season 4 is my favorite.
Right. It's my favorite out of all of them.
Okay.
So, although we haven't seen 8 yet, obviously. I don't know, I just feel
Curious why.
Well, we're far enough along so that we're super invested in all these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen them go through hell. It also sort of picks up on some of the newer characters that were introduced in season 2 and season 3. So, you know, the Red Woman, we start to that starts to be a lot more drama filled.
Mm-hmm.
Brienne obviously is a character that comes into the fold in season 2. So there's just a lot of characters that we're really invested in season 4. And of course the way the season ends is things are like never going to be the same after season 4. And that sort of sets the rest of the series on its path to where it's going to go. So I don't know, I just really like it. There's a lot of good moments and I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too. I think one of the reasons I like season 4 a lot is because the way it's structured, it's not structured the same way as especially the first 3 seasons, where those seasons are kind of building up towards something that's going to happen, versus in season 4, something happens at the very beginning and we're seeing the whole season is pretty much just the aftermath of pretty much the majority of our characters dealing with what happens at the White Wedding. So it's just...
Purple Wedding.
Oh, sorry, Purple Wedding. I'm sorry. Why did I say white?
They're color-coded.
I don't know. But it's just that the way it's structured that way, where pretty much, especially like in King's Landing alone, it's just literally from episode 3 to 10, it's just them dealing with the ramifications of what happened in especially episode 2. So in that sense, we're not building towards something where we're pretty much just seeing the fallout of what's already happened. So in that sense, I like that dynamic of it, because all the other ones are like, we're building up to season 9, and then we see the fallout in 10. Is that we're building up to, we kind of just, the way they structured it is like we just got thrown into the wedding in episode 2, and then just did like dealing with it for the rest of the season. So I agree with you. It does kind of is a nice launching point for especially a lot of things that's going to happen. But considering how it's structured, I really, really, really love season 4.
Me too. So what should we talk about first?
Well, before we talk about anything particular, let's just talk about what happened in the first episode, the cold opening that happened, where we see Tywin pretty much taking the last Stark sword of his knowledge anyway,
forging it,
and burning it,
melting it
down,
yeah,
and making 2 swords out of it,
right.
And him just taking that wolf and just throwing in the flames. Yeah, threw me in the flames.
Yeah.
And him just thinking like the Starks are gone and I've won. And then I love how there's no dialogue in that scene. It's just literally him just seeing that like a major threat to what he wants to accomplish is now thwarted, and he's won. Now he's gonna take the spoils of his victory. Valerian's steel sword. Now he made 2 of them. Just the fact that like that look on his face when he's seeing the wolf burning is just like you could just see like him reveling in it.
Yep, and then right into the opening credits, which is great. I love it. So the cold open is great. And
I love the cold opening.
Yeah, so things in King's Landing are looking good from. Oh, there's my dragon coming out to say hi. She's like, "You talking about Game of Thrones?" So things are looking good in King's Landing, at least from the perspective of the Lannisters. Cersei's pretty content. Joffrey's on the throne. Things are looking good at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Jaime's back. Although I will say, I think Jaime's having a little bit of a difficult time adjusting to not only, sort of being a worthless Kingsguard because his hand got cut off. He's been away from home for a while. He's been away from his sister. He's grew a little bit of a heart. Like you can kind of see, he's starting to question their methods on some things.
And questioning himself too. I mean, well, let's just stick with in King's Landing. So let's start with Jaime. So Yeah, so I think he's questioning himself too, almost kind of like after Joffrey dies, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. He pretty much is like, when they're next to his dead body, he's like, I hate the gods that made me love this hateful woman.
Yeah.
And I think the only despicable thing he does, in the whole season, he rapes her.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Not his finest moment.
Not his finest moment, of course, but
clearly he's wrestling with like these two worlds. Like, what is right, what is wrong? Who am I? Who am I to you? So I can kind of see why he snapped a little bit in that sense, because I don't think we see him really do anything that vicious again.
No.
So.
But it's also him struggling with the fact that he might have feelings for Brienne, and knowing that that's probably not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to go 100% go there and admit that to himself, but then looking at Cersei and seeing how vindictive she is and how she hasn't changed in the way that he probably might want. I think that's one of the reasons why he snaps and unfortunately does rape her.
Yeah.
It's just him struggling with those feelings of, I might like this woman who's honorable, who, is a good person, who's doing the right things, doing it the right way, and then there's Cersei.
Yeah.
And him just coming to deal with that. So I just think that's kind of, again, it's not a good thing to do. It's a despicable thing to do. But I think that's his reasoning, if you want to try to justify it or not.
I'm sure he didn't think it through. But
no, of course not. I think he just got caught in the moment and,
Yeah.
But... Anyways,
so interesting character. So we have to keep an eye on Jaime for the rest of the season then too, because
and he gives his sword away too, which is something that he would never have done before, because he made such a big deal about once his dad gave it to him, like Valyrian steel, like our family's never had one. It's interesting to see how far he's really come in their time, not that long of a period.
Well, right.
And considering he's been home for weeks, he said, and he's still he almost feels like an outsider in a sense.
Absolutely.
And I think the only thing that kind of makes him whole is him having conversations with his brother.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, so that connection is clearly still strong.
Yeah.
And so we're not sure where Jaime's going to fit in. He's not sure where he's going to fit in. By the end of the season, he ends up basically, I would say, committing treason by letting his brother
absolutely.
go.
Absolutely.
So he really takes a huge risk there. He really does prioritize, Tyrion's well-being. That was a risky move for him.
Well, not even that. He even sacrifices what he truly wants. He wants to stay in the Kingsguard, but he was willing to sacrifice that just to let his brother live.
Yeah.
Even though his dad kind of...
Didn't go the way he
It didn't go the way he thought, but it's just the fact that he was willing to put his own feelings aside for his brother. Because he knew his brother was innocent, and he's getting railroaded. Yeah. So it's just, I love Jaime because you can literally, he's one of the few characters where you can just literally see the turn slowly happening from when we first met him to now, where he's done a complete 180.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few characters that have done that.
Yeah.
I love seeing him on screen every time.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to see actually decent people in King's Landing, in the fray, because everyone's just so madly corrupt and just sort of power hungry. And
everybody is.
So, yeah, it's not a good thing to be a good person down
Looking
there.
out for someone else's well-being is we're all liars here, just like Littlefinger says.
Right.
Because they're all looking out for themselves. It's nice to see someone not doing that.
Yeah. Well, so why don't we jump to talk about Cersei then a little bit? Because, like I said, at the beginning of the series, she's feeling pretty comfortable, even though she's, mad at her brother for being gone so long, even though, it's not really his fault. So she's wrestling with those feelings a little bit, but at least their enemies are dead. Her son's still on the throne.
Yeah.
They're tying up the whole thing with the Tyrells, trying to merge their two kingdoms.
Yeah.
She obviously doesn't want to have to marry Loras.
No.
In fact, she insists that she will not.
Even though her dad's like, you're my daughter, you will.
Yeah.
Even though Jaime's kind of like, it'll never happen.
Yeah.
And then...
yeah. Yeah. So Cersei's, I guess things are comfortable, but she's a little on edge at the beginning. And then, of course, she has to hold her son while he dies.
Yeah.
And...
she just loses it after that.
Yeah. because she's always been, oh, my children are everything. You know, I have no purpose in this life outside of my children. It's the only thing that keeps me going. And so in that moment, obviously, her hatred for her brother comes out because she, you know, says that he did it. And she just really kind of takes a turn at that point.
Very, very spiteful and vindictive. Like, even though I don't know if she truly believes he did it.
Yeah,
but
I don't know, but
I just think that she's
she has to blame someone.
Yeah, she has to blame like someone has to pay for it.
And she already hated him.
Yeah, exactly. Just convenience that the way the scene plays out, that it's easy to blame him.
Yeah.
And considering how Sansa kind of runs away, it makes it even more so of a reason.
Yeah.
But her purpose in the season is to see him die. And she does everything, literally everything that she can think of to set the table to let Tyrion go down. Yeah, for him to go down. Like, and she, especially when Tyrion offers trial by combat, she's like, I'm going to get the only person that doesn't matter who you put it, whoever Tyrion's champion is cannot defeat the Mountain. And even though he kind of just seeing her face when that battle is happening. Just the pride she was taking when she thought it was going to go her way. That smug... Like, she's like... that character, facial expressions are just so good.
Yeah,
you don't even have to know what's going on. You can just look at her face and her face will tell you. Exactly. Like, when the Mountain is kind of winning, you can see the joy like he's about to win. Yes. And when he's about to lose... Like, her facial expressions are amazing.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting about in the season in terms of with Cersei is, you know, they're trying to keep this secret for so long.
Yeah.
And also Cersei's trying to be treated like like one of Tywin's sons.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I'm the only one who actually has done anything for this family. Like you say, you know, how great Jaime is, and, you know, you keep insisting that Tyrion's your son, and he was king of the hand. It's like, what have you ever given me? I'm the one who's actually here, sitting here, trying to, you know, do what's best for the family, and you give me nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, interestingly, in that moment, she admits to her father that she has been having an affair with her brother this entire time that they, you know, have been of age, basically.
Yeah.
And that his dynasty is a lie.
It's a sham.
Yeah, because Joffrey is their son together.
Yeah.
So, like, that was a bold move, and I think she was starting to feel a little invincible at that point.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't even care. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Well, I mean, that's the only card she could play against her father, and it's one of the few times where he has no retort, really. He only can really just deny it, and you know, that's not true. Like, no. You know, but maybe in his soul, he knows it's probably true. He just doesn't want to admit it, because once he admits it, then it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, all this, you know, all this legacies and stuff, like, what is it for?
Well, and also his family's not safe at that point. You can't admit it because you'll die. Like, you know, like, the people of King's Landing will revolt against you. Obviously, you don't have a claim to the throne. Like, what are you going to do at that point?
Exactly.
That information cannot get out.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he just doesn't admit it.
Yeah.
Because once he admits it, it's like, because everybody knows he's the real power. Even though he's not wearing the crown, he's the real power. Everybody looks to him. So if he admits it, it's like him just pretty much saying, you know, our power is useless. Like, what do we really have? And I think it's now a good time to finish talking about him.
Yeah.
So considering where we meet him at the beginning of the season, him giving Jaime the Valyrian steel sword and giving Joffrey the other sword, him just kind of saying, like, here are the fruits of our labor, everything that we've, like, look what we've accomplished. Here's the fruits of it. But also just seeing him pivot. He's the master pivoter. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it up.
Master pivoter.
But because you can see, like, how he's all behind, like, he just knows, he sees how he has to relate to Joffrey and how that dynamic is going to work. And once Joffrey's out of the picture, he sees Tommen and he's like, oh, how I can manipulate him. This is going to be a lot easier to, like, say, like, well, look how the other kings acted. What were they lacking? Oh, wisdom. Exactly. So you just.
But it's true.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like, I think Tywin, you know, he wants there to be a good a king with a good head on his shoulders. So I think like
someone who could
he's he's obviously a selfish guy, but like he gets it. You know, he understands that you have to sort of have wisdom and honor and stuff like that in order to rule. So
yeah, but like he doesn't even wait for the body to be cold. He's literally just telling that to his brother.
Yeah,
right.
Cersei's like, this is not the best time.
Almost kind of like saying like your mom sucks. Like she couldn't handle him, but I'm gonna make sure that you don't turn out that way. Yeah. So I'm gonna get my hooks into you right now and kind of start manipulating you.
Yeah.
So you can turn out better and just like. That and then again him like pivoting with Tyrion.
Oh yeah, he's consistently flip flopping. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you're a Lannister. You're my son. You're no son. I want you dead. You're no son of mine. Yeah. It's like, what is it, Dad?
It's whatever suits him and his legacy best.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, he literally like when he was born, he's like, I want to kill you, but that's not best for our legacy, so I'll let you live. But now that the king is dead, even though I know you didn't do it, someone's got to go. And since I really don't like you, you're the perfect scapegoat, and I'm just going to let them kill you. But then once Tyrion gets the upper hand, he's like, "Oh no, son, I wouldn't let them kill you."
Yeah, he's like, "You
really think I let them?" Like, come on, let's go talk about it. The crossbow.
Yeah, let me get off the shitter.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I feel that because of all this flip-flopping and all the stories that he tells about how he wants to drop Tyrion into the sea, we're not sure that Tyrion is actually his son. There's a possibility that
we don't know.
We don't know, but the way that it's being talked about, the way that they treat him just as a baby, even though he's a midget, but like
he's a monster, kind of like what they were explaining.
So
before.
part of that makes me think like, okay, maybe this has more to do with his lineage. Just throwing that out there, we don't know. But yeah, complicated situation with Tyrion and his father. So stop.
It's just weird to see him like go that way, like a powerful man being killed on the toilet. It's just really unfortunate. Alex is taking care of her dragon.
She's trying to get back into her house, but she doesn't know how glass works. So we'll just put her here.
A lot of people don't know how glass works, so that's fine. But just him manipulating Shay or Shay manipulating them on top of that, and I think that Shay is a good way of going into talking about Tyrion, where at the beginning she thinks he wants her gone, where Varys kind of like offers her some diamonds, like
she sees
get out of here.
She sees things pretty simply, like she doesn't really understand the place that she's come to and the political tug and push and pull and the game. She doesn't get it. She's like, wait, why? Why can't I be in here? Or why do you want me gone? Like, she doesn't get it.
Even though he keeps explaining to her, like, this is a very dangerous place, but I don't think she sees the danger the way he does. And knows that in a blink of an eye, this all could be over.
Right.
So she does leave. What he thinks, she does leave, and of course he's sad about that. But we see him at the wedding, and Joffrey literally just embarrasses the shit out of him, like with the dwarfs doing the Five Kings play, which was everybody thought was ridiculous and despicable. It's just to dig it in him like that. It's just like. He did a good job of swallowing it, for lack of a better word, but Joffrey just went way too far, and you wouldn't blame him if he was actually one that did do it.
Well, this is Joffrey was written this way on purpose for this episode because we wanted to be absolutely sure that we hate him before they take him out.
I mean,
but also,
if you didn't, I don't understand. Like you hated him anyway, but. It's like they just drove it home,
because they want you in that.
This is a bad guy.
Moment.
Remember, this is a bad guy.
Exactly.
Just pouring the wine over his head and just like pour my wine.
And obviously,
kicking the cup under the table.
That sets it up so that to everyone else, it makes sense for Tyrion to have killed him.
Wow.
Yeah, she can't fly, but she can jump.
She can jump. So like he's. For the majority of the season, he's in the jail, and he's trying to figure out, how's he gonna get out of this? But then he does come to realize that at some point, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like all his cards are stacked against me.
Yeah.
You know, they turned everybody against me. You have to send Podrick away.
Mm-hmm.
You have to send who's his friend? I can't remember.
Bronn
away. Well, Bronn kind of gets set up whereas like, you know, they're gonna marry me off now. I'm gonna have a castle.
Cersei got to everyone first.
Yeah.
Cersei got to everyone first that could have been a threat to her in terms of Tyrion being able to live, and either paid them off or you know, like, whatever it is.
Why would I risk that? He's like, I'm gonna have a nice, okay wife. I'm gonna have. He has fancy clothes now. He's like, I can't sacrifice that for you.
Yeah.
He's like, I love you and all, but you know, our bromance is kind of, it ain't worth that. Sorry.
Yeah. So all those scenes with Tyrion are so sad because every time we see him in the dungeons, like there's less and less hope that he's gonna get out of it. And the trial itself is like just really like
literally just getting railroaded. Like everybody, like it's like. What's the point of him?
And like all the
him just standing there is like, what is the point of this?
Yeah, and like just, all the things that he said that were taken out of context.
Yeah.
And like obviously used against him in the trial, where he said like, "Oh, your joy will turn to ashes," you know, and the debt will be paid. Mm-hmm. And obviously that was something that he said when she like beat up the whore, thinking it was his, right? So obviously these things that he's saying are from a point of like complete anger because of the way that they're treating him, treating people around him.
Yeah. Well, like when he smacked Joffrey.
Yeah.
Called him an idiot.
Yeah. Or saved Sansa from being completely humiliated. Mm-hmm. But no one hears that part of the story. No. They just hear the bad part. So it was so hard to watch that, and Tyrion just kind of snaps. Yeah. You know, he's like, I wish to confess, and Jaime's like,
be quiet. But it's like, I think he was willing to take it, but it's not until Shae comes in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then he's like... That's the final, dagger in him.
Yeah.
Where he just, because I think at one point, maybe he would have taken that deal.
Right.
Where he just would have been quiet and...
Yeah, gone to the wall.
Even though part of him knows, and like he even said, Ned Stark had that same deal. Yeah. And look what happened to him. So I think a part of him was still worried.
Yeah, I think
I think at the end of the day, he would have taken the deal.
Yeah.
Because I think he does trust his brother, you know? Yeah. He doesn't trust the rest of his family.
And he could have still somehow gotten out of it and, you know, gone into hiding somewhere else, but...
We don't know, but when Shae comes in and pretty much just is really paints a picture that he's guilty, it's just like, when he tells her, you know, please don't, because, you're not... He doesn't care really what everybody else thinks, it's like, you've turned on me, please don't turn on me too. Everybody else is kind of turned. Yeah. You don't do that too.
It's hard to watch.
And then when she does, and then when we realize, when he does snap, he's like, I wish I didn't kill Joffrey, but I wish I had. And I wish I had enough poison to poison all of you.
It's such a good...
He's
such a good actor.
Yeah, that's his... I think that's his finest performance.
Yeah.
Up to this point. It's that scene where he's literally just like, F all of you.
Yeah, finally gets to get it off of his,
It's like, I may die, but all of you are despicable. And I'm not going to give you the satisfaction, so I will do trial by combat.
Right.
And everybody's like, Jimmy's like, you idiot! Like, you had it, you threw your life away. He's like, he's like, don't count on me out yet. He's like...
That's such an epic moment.
He's like, are you gonna be my champion? He's like, He's like, I can't help you. I can't fight with my left hand. And then, so to see him kind of, I just love Tyrion. And when it's over, and he thinks they come to kill him, it's Jaime saving him, and he's like, well, Varys is waiting for you.
He's like, I got to do something first.
Yeah, he's like, I got to take care of business. And he goes to talk to his dad, but he finds Shae first. Mm. And then that look on his face is like...
I don't think he would have killed Tywin if Shae wasn't there first. I think he might have just said his last words, or...
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. It wouldn't have went down the exact same way, but just seeing...
But after murdering his love...
Which I don't think he wanted to do either.
No, but then you're in a certain state of mind.
Yeah, well,
he blames his dad for all of this.
Yeah.
And so then...
I think he knows exactly why Shae turned. It's like, my dad got to you. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, she's kind of made her alliance now. She even called him Lion, and like, ooh, you used to call me Lion. Like, oof.
Yeah. So
he kills her, which he didn't, obviously takes no pleasure in, and he sees the crossbow, he takes that. and then he goes to find his father, and they have, Tywin tries to manipulate his way out of it.
Right.
It's like,
you're my son.
You're my son, I would never do that. But just from his point of view, it's like, it doesn't matter what you're saying at this point. You always thought I was a monster.
Yeah.
You were going to have me killed.
I just killed my girlfriend who you were sleeping with.
Yeah, you've turned everybody against
Dad.
me. And then he just puts 2 arrows in him and just leaves him there.
Oh, yeah. And then he goes then to Varys. He's going to put him in the box. And Varys is like,
what have you done? And then they put him on the ship to God knows where. And then when Varys hears the bells ringing, he's like, uh-oh, I got to get out of here too.
Yeah, he's like, I got to go too. Because
like,
this
maybe
is
looking
not...
for me. It's not safe for me. And he's a little power hungry himself. So he's looking out for his best interest. So he's like, I'm going to get out of here too.
Yeah, I think a lot of Varys is one of these characters. It's like, I'm no good to anyone if I'm dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't help anyone if I'm dead, so I better skid down.
My little birds can't work if they have no one to talk to.
We didn't see much else of Varys this season.
No.
That's really the most important thing that he does, is he sort of betrays him in the trial.
Yeah.
But then saves his life, because he's just trying to stay on everybody's good side.
I think he just tells the truth, and unfortunately, the truth in that context is just is betraying him. Mm-hmm. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't want to.
But he has to if he's called as a witness.
Exactly. He's just doing his duty.
Yeah.
But I think it's when he has a conversation with the prince in the throne room. Mm-hmm. It kind of goes back to our conversation earlier when you think he doesn't have eyes for the throne. He does.
I think he was talking.
Truly does.
I think he was talking about other people.
No,
because look what desire gets you.
But he's like, well, what do you desire? Like, because you don't desire women, you don't desire men. Well, what do you? If you don't have desires, what does that leave you? And he's like, well, to other things. And he looks at the throne. I honest to God think that I think you got the wording
wrong a little bit.
But. Well, no, I don't know. But he does look at the throne. I think he doesn't want it, but. If a scenario were to come about where he were to be placed there, I guarantee you he would take it. He's not doing these things just for the sake of others alone.
I think he's
doing it for himself too.
He's doing it for the good of the realm. I believe him 100% when he says that. I don't think he wants to be king.
I don't know. He doesn't.
And I don't think he would be king.
No, he's doing things again for the good of the realm. But I think if a scenario came about where someone said, you should be like anointed king. Varys, you should be king. He's not going to be like, oh no.
Yes, he would. He absolutely would say that.
He would
be like, my lords, no. I am not fit for this position. No. Yes, he would.
I don't think so.
Yes, he would.
I don't. We'll agree to disagree, but I just think that for me, hammers it home for me that he would accept it.
See, I read it as...
He's not driven to get it, but he would accept it.
Okay, I don't think so. But what do you guys think?
I think he would.
Okay.
I think he would.
No.
Who do you want to talk about next? Well, let's kind of stay in King's Landing. Let's talk about the prince coming to town.
Oh, yeah, Prince Oberyn, right?
Yeah.
So this is a new character that we get in Season 4.
Yes.
He's there for the wedding, and clearly has some beef with the Lannisters because they... slaughtered his family basically in the mountain, killed his sister, and that's basically
and raped his skin.
Yes, and killed her children.
Yes. Which he makes a point to say.
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
You raped her.
You murdered her.
You killed her children.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about that scene.
And he literally just there for revenge, and I think that's kind of where him and Tyrion kind of have a little bit of bond there. They're both the second son, so nothing is really coming to them.
Yeah.
So they kind of are both outcast.
Right.
And the black sheep, for lack of a better word, of the families.
Right. And this is the first physical evidence that we have of Dorne.
Yeah.
So we've heard this name before. That's where they shipped off Marcella. That's where Tyrion shipped off Marcella to marry one of the princes there. Or to be safe. And so now we finally get to see these are the people that live there, full of just a land full of bastards, and
and nobody cares.
Yeah, and nobody cares, and they don't hurt little girls.
They don't judge you by it.
Yeah. So obviously, spent a lot of time in the brothel.
Yes.
So we like these characters. They're very
we do like him, especially considering he's when he says that I enjoy women, I enjoy men, I just enjoy the pleasures, and I don't want to deny myself. And I think that's kind of what Dawn kind of represents to a lot of people, just throw your cares away, just enjoy things.
Yeah, as long as you're not hurting someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're sort of wondering where he's going to fit in and what's going to happen. He clearly has a beef for the Lannisters, so you know that there's going to be something. But then finally his time comes where he's like, I've been waiting for this moment. Cersei has named the mountain as her champion, and he's like, this is my chance.
I'm going to take this opportunity.
Yeah, to get my revenge. So it's a nice scene when he goes down to visit Tyrion, because we're not expecting that. Like, who would fight for Tyrion? But then it makes a lot of sense then. He's like, this is his chance to get his revenge.
Because he has that conversation with Tywin in the brothel where he's like, he's trying to kind of feeling him out, and like, well, the mountain kind of, is one of your men. He takes orders from you, and he's like, well, Tywin's trying to manipulate the situation again. She's like, well, if he did do it, I didn't tell him to do it. He did it on his own accord. I know nothing. So, but he doesn't believe that. So he's taking this opportunity to get revenge on the mountain, but literally, take one of the Lannisters' main pieces off the board.
Yeah.
To like, well, if the mountain's out of the way, there's less of things standing in my way to take my revenge. Yeah. How he was gonna plan on doing it once he took out the mountain, we'll never know. But he like you said, he takes that opportunity. He's like, well, this is a way for me to get them to fight the mountain, to get him to confess, and go from there.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he won. He did win. He basically won.
He didn't finish the job.
He just didn't finish the job. He got so cocky and arrogant. Because remember, in his point of view, it's not the fight with the mountain. It's not his end game. That's not what he really wants. He wants the mountain to confess that Tywin gave him the order, so he could justify killing Tywin, because he could have killed Tywin at the brothel, like Tywin says. My men are gone out. I don't have a weapon. You can kill me right now. But he's like, I don't have the. He's like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't have the proof that you were the person who killed my sister. So he wants the mountain to confess. If he didn't care about that, the mountain would be dead, and he would have won, and things would have played out completely differently. Again, that's another where this story has a fork in the road. Where if you would have finished the mountain off, things would have played out completely differently. Versus what happened, and it played out the way we saw.
Which is still really hard to watch.
Yeah, it really
that
is.
is
to see
probably
his head get crushed.
The most brutal death, I would say, that we see in the entire series.
Yeah.
Just
his eyes
noise,
and his...
The sound design is so good, and everyone's like, ah! And Tyrion just goes white.
And then the series' face is just like...
It's good cinema.
Yay! Yeah, like he's put the spear in him and cut his Achilles. Like he was done. He was completely done.
It's intense.
And again, if he didn't get arrogant and want that confession, he would have won.
Right. And so we see the mountain isn't quite dead yet, or we see some interesting Frankenstein kind of situation going on with Qyburn, who was stripped of all of his medals because of his strange experiments and tactics. Oh my god, she's being so annoying. I'm sorry if you guys can hear this here. Stop! So...
And then we also see him kind of like... Cersei kind of take a shine to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she recognizes that like he can give her what she wants.
Yeah.
I think she sees that in him.
And she also knows that he'll go above and beyond. Yeah, exactly. And the old master's just like, he's done.
He's like, nope, can't do anything.
And he's like, no, I can save him.
And, he obviously annoys Cersei
a great deal. Yeah, because he's an old man that's kind of a pervert.
So an opportunity to get a new maester in there who actually will help her get shit done.
And it's not a pervert.
Yeah. So that's important because, in the next season, the mountain comes back as, Frankenstein Mountain.
Well, but he even cautions her, like, he won't be the same. And she's like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, she'll be like, as long as he's still...
do what you need.
As long as he's still strong.
As long as he can still serve me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, she said, will it weaken him?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think so.
He becomes Bane, basically.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, like from the old Batman and Robin, just like hired muscle that doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But she doesn't care. Like, to her point of view, it's just like, whatever I have to do to protect what's mine. Like, I already lost a son, my daughter's out. I have to protect my other son, which we could talk about him now, where before he was just like the quiet son that was just there in the corner.
Right. Well, they
really
switched actors. They switched actors.
Which they tend to do a lot, but
yeah.
because they kind of want to make him seem a little bit older. Mm-hmm. Because before they had a younger actor playing him, and now he's supposed to be, a little bit old. Like they wanted the character to seem a little bit older.
I mean, the actor they cast probably would have grown up to be the same age by the time they started shooting.
But it would have been weird to see, oh my God, what's her name? Lady Marjorie in bed with him if he's a little bit younger. That would have looked a little weird.
Well, right. I'm saying the original actor probably is the same age.
Yeah, but he didn't look older. He looked really young.
Well, before.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had let that actor grow to season 4, then oh my gosh, look at this.
Maybe.
What is she doing?
But so obviously he's not as vindictive as his brother was.
Yeah, he's very just sort of nice and shy, and it's kind of like I don't want to mess up.
I just kind of want to do what I'm told, and they're gone. And we see Lady Marjorie have that conversation with him, like, hey, we're gonna be.
Yeah, Grandma plants a seed in her head. Like, like you got to get to him now.
You got to get your hooks in him.
Yep.
And I thought she would have tried to sleep. You would think that she's going there to sleep with him, but she's just
playing the long game.
She's playing the long game, where it kind of teases him, like, and she doesn't even kiss him on the lips. You think she is, but she kisses him on the forehead, and she knows that's enough.
She knows it's a tease, right?
Yeah.
She's going in, and then no.
Yeah,
sorry.
but she knows, like, I got him.
Yeah.
She's just a master manipulator, and that's why. Lady Marjorie is pretty much like, that's why I like her. Mm-hmm. She's playing her own game.
Yeah.
She's playing the long game. And she's keeping her cards very close to her vest. Only when Cersei has a conversation where like, oh, would you still want to be queen? He's like, oh, I never even thought of it. No. I would have to talk to my father.
Yeah, I think she's still a little naive about how dangerous Cersei can be. And like how... I think she thinks like, oh, I'm out of the water now, Joffrey's out of the picture, we're good, but doesn't see the threat. She knows that Cersei doesn't like her, or, is kind of, power hungry, but
she still knows she's needed.
Yeah, she doesn't see the threat completely yet.
No.
So, it's interesting
but she's playing her game, and it's just nice to see it, because I think I keep saying she's Cersei light, where she's power hungry, but she's going about it in her own way. Like, she's still a good person, but very, very manipulative.
Yeah.
She's a manipulator.
Yeah. Right, so, I think that's everything.
Well, let's talk about Joffrey. So, I mean...
Well...
he's only in 2 episodes,
He is, and obviously earns his death quite handedly, just by being such a jerk. But that, as much as we hate him, it's still really hard to watch him die like that.
Yeah, but...
That is also pretty brutal. And,
no, of course.
His eyes are, like, looking different directions.
The strangler.
That's a nasty poison. And that's a moment that you really don't see coming.
No, you don't.
You just assume that he's gonna keep being, like, the tyrant, like, the one problem, that they're the loose cannon, wild dog situation. You just assume that that's kind of going to be the way that the show goes.
Yeah, and plus the way the episode is shot, you're thinking he's going to do something terrible.
Yeah.
And then it's just getting delayed.
Yeah, the suspense.
And then like there's just been there's just interruptions, and you think like, is he going to kill his uncle?
His uncle,
is he really going to do it?
Or is he? Yeah, what's he going to do?
And you think
Sansa?
Yeah, exactly. You think he's going to do something like terrible, and it just doesn't happen
because the poison gets to him first,
and then you're thinking like, who could have done it?
Yeah,
and then we find out who did do it.
Yeah,
and she's like, I wouldn't let you marry such a boy.
Yeah, Lady Olenna.
Yeah, and then that whole conspiracy of how it was done.
Yeah,
that no one else we know, but I love when like the audience knows things that a lot of our characters don't know. Mm-hmm. And who knows when everybody else is going to find out who really killed Joffrey.
Yeah.
But we know who killed him.
Yeah.
We know how he died.
Yep.
But no one else knows.
Yeah, and so that episode is just really good because it's so suspenseful. We don't know why, like you said. Is Joffrey going to do something? Like, what's going to happen? And then one of my favorite parts is when the pie comes out.
Yeah.
And Marjorie's like, look, the pie!
Yeah, like But I'll break the tension with the pie. And then, like you do that, they're just
I still say that.
Of tension breaking.
Yeah. And I love that Joffrey cuts into the pie.
Yeah.
And the birds fly out and it's yay, and then we see a shot, he killed a bird in the pie, which is like a really nice, just sort of symbolic, like, doesn't matter what, Joffrey's always going to be a killer, even like, you know what I mean? And it was also like kind of like a foreshadow too, like, ooh, this is kind of uncomfortable. Is something like bad gonna happen?
You still have to eat it too, which is weird.
It's just a really well crafted episode.
Yeah, it's. I agree with you in the sense where they're like they just drove that point home, like this is a bad guy, and we're gonna. This is not the worst things he's done, but it's just like we're gonna make sure that, you're not happy, you're not sad to see him go.
Yeah.
I wasn't sad. I was just like, yeah.
Well, I was just like, now what? It's that feeling of like, now what?
Are we at episode 9 already? No, this is episode 2.
That's why it's so unexpected too.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, well, I think we can probably move north a little bit. Do you want to follow Sansa?
Yeah, we could follow her. Yeah.
So obviously, after the aftermath of the wedding, the murder, Varys sneaks her out, or not Varys,
the fool.
The fool guy. Yeah. The other fat round guy.
Yeah. Who she saves.
Yep, and gives her the necklace. Brings her to the ship.
Yeah.
Where Peter is.
Mm-hmm.
Peter's like.
They
have this interesting.
Discussion in the ship,
and I think Sansa's starting to see the bigger picture here. Like, oh, I didn't even realize that, like, because you're loyal to them. I never suspected you, kind of situation. And she's like starting to think like, okay, this picture is bigger than what I thought it was. I thought I was just trying to like play the game by staying alive and not be tormented by Joffrey.
Yeah. And
then she's starting to see that there are more pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, and there's different ways to play, and she's kind of at the end embraces the lessons not only that Littlefinger teaches her, but Cersei teaches her as well.
Right, exactly. And which I love the end. I love the last episode in this season because we see her coming down the stairs, like she's fully transformed. Yeah. So let's talk about how she gets there. So she comes, Peter takes her to the Vale where her Aunt Lysa is. Peter's supposed to marry Aunt Lysa and bring the Vale into the fold on the Lannister side. But Peter's obviously playing his own game.
Of course.
So they get married. Aunt Lysa's a little insane. Sansa's kind of once again caught in the whirlwind of the political game and the emotions of the people around her, and Aunt Lysa is like freaking out, like he wants you, and she's like, no.
She pretty much just sees her sister all over again. Yeah. It seems like someone else will take Peter away. Yeah. And I'm not gonna let it happen this time.
Yeah. So poor Sansa has also just come to a dangerous place again. Yeah. And she's supposed to be pretending that she's his niece. Like no one's supposed to know she's alive. So like you said, I think Peter really takes her under his wing, no pun intended, and starts like teaching her how things work and how his mind works and how he gets what he wants.
He lowers his guard down for her. Yeah. And pretty much like shows his true self to her, like what is, because he has those conversations with Varys, but they kind of know where each other, like what their ambitions are, and they kind of play off that. But besides Varys, she's the only other person that really kind of knows how he is and what he is and what he wants.
She's soaking in all of this because she's just trying to survive. Yeah. So when Peter kisses her and Lysa sees it, which I still think Peter knew that she was there watching.
I don't think so.
I think it was two things. I think obviously he sees a lot of Catelyn in Sansa Stark and has feelings for her. But I also think that he's not stupid. He's not that stupid. You know what I mean? Like, he's smarter than that. He totally planned for her to see it because he imagined doing this all along. He wanted her. He was like, now's my chance. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make her jealous. Yeah. Absolutely. Because he even looks. There's a look that he gives, like he knows that she's there. Watch it again. Watch the scene again. It'll become clear.
But even let's just go with that theory. Yeah. But it's just like he's manipulating Sansa as well. Mm-hmm. Because he knows how important she is. And then B, kind of like that's just in his mind, kind of like Catelyn reincarnated in a way.
Yeah.
And he kind of sees that as a second chance.
Yeah.
And then when our aunt sees this, she goes crazy and tries to push her out the moon door. Even though she'd make some confessions that we didn't know.
Right.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but Peter comes in and you think, all right, he's kind of calmed everything down. And then he makes a confession of his own, saying like, I really don't love you. I've only loved one person. That's your sister.
Your sister.
He just pushes her out. And that's a shocking scene at the end. And then when the lords come to question him, and they're like, well, we heard there was a witness, and he's like, oh, I'll go fetch her, and they're like, no. Yeah. She's already here. We don't want you whispering in her ear. And then Peter thinks, oh my God.
He's like, uh-oh.
I'm finished.
I might actually be screwed now.
No, if you look at his face, he knows he's done.
Yeah.
Because when she says, I have to tell the truth, he's like, he puts his head down, and he's like, that's the end of me.
Yeah.
And then when she starts to lie.
Yeah.
And not only lie, is convincing about it.
Oh yeah. Because she's had to do that in King's Landing. She's learned how to lie like that.
And then Peter kind of is in awe of the entire thing. Like, I didn't know
I love that.
Had that.
Yeah, I love that look she gives her.
He starts to raise his head like, I can't believe you're not that stupid little girl I thought you were. Yeah. You actually have some talent, and you can play this game too.
Right. And so he goes into her quarters and is like, why did you save me? And
he's like, well, I really kind of saved myself, because they killed you, what would they have done with me? Yep. So I really didn't do it for you, I did it for me. Yep. And a lot of people...
And he's like kind of proud of that.
He's like, good for you!
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Like, but you kind of... A lot of people can misinterpret that, where she's kind of turning evil, especially the way that dress looks. She's
it's a transformation.
Yeah, she's shedding that stupid girl naiveness.
Yeah, all the pretty colors of the ladies at King's Landing.
Wearing her hair long and
and black.
Like la 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 la, like relying on others to kind of save her. She's kind of taking her destiny more in her own hands. So it's not less that she's like becoming evil. She's just understanding what she has to do to stay alive. She's
become a woman. That is sort of the way I look at it.
Yeah, she's kind of blossoming.
She's not a girl anymore.
Yeah, she's not a little stupid girl. She's learned how to play the game even more so now than she did before. She's embraced it. Yeah. And I think that's what putting on that dress signifies. Symbolizes. Mm-hmm. That she's put her childhood behind her. Yeah. And she's now a woman.
Yeah. Peter notices.
Yeah, Peter. Like,
he's like, nice
very
nice digs.
Yeah.
So that whole thing's happening over there. So we're not entirely sure what's going to happen to Sansa going forward. No. We get the sense that Peter has plans for her. Yes. Which is true.
Well, let's talk about Peter and the Vale, because we do know why he was sent there. Oh,
she found her way in.
She found her way in. We understand why Peter was sent there, but with Liza we get the confession that pretty much one of the things that was driving this whole series, it was because of what they had done. Yes. So they killed the previous hen. She sent the letter to her sister, kind of manipulate her into thinking that the Lannisters were behind it to kind of cause this rift. So Peter can again put himself in a position to get closer and closer to the throne and to gain the Stark's trust. So everything was again, it's the Lannisters doing one thing, but Peter doing another thing, and you see how everybody's playing this game and the long game. Because look how long those decisions that they made have. Look how much legs those things have, and how much things have happened because of those decisions that they made.
Yep, absolutely. So we're not sure exactly what's in store and what Peter really is planning. Yeah. He still even kind of keeps everything a secret from us. Yeah. You know, we know that he doesn't have the best intentions. No. But, you know.
But again, he lets Sansa know that, I want everything.
Yeah, I want everything.
And he does want her, and I think she knows and we know.
And she's going to use that.
Yeah, that's his weakness. And I think whether he's doing it on purpose or not, he's revealing that yes, I want the throne, but there's something about you that comes into play with that. And I don't know if he's consciously doing it, but he's letting Sansa has picked up on it, that you're going to do things for my protection. You're going to go out of your way to protect me, and I'm going to use that against you. Yeah. So I don't think he willingly set that up, but that might come back to haunt him because she now knows what his kryptonite is. And he doesn't, and I think that's his only kryptonite. Besides wanting power in his own way, and sometimes his ambition could get the best of him.
He's used to the political game, but I think women escape him. To
a degree, I mean, sometimes he tries to overstep, and I think that could be his kryptonite too, because he tried to overplay his hand with Cersei, and she put him in his place real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
But as him and Sansa's relationship evolve, that could be trouble for him.
Yeah.
If he lets it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to talk about Arya and the Hound?
Yes.
Trekking through. So speaking of the Vale,
that's where their journey is.
They're headed, and they finally get there, and Lady Arryn died, and Arya just starts laughing.
Yeah, that is funny.
Just laughing because the Hound's intended to sell her. For a reward, because he's like, oh, family and all that, and she's like, well, I never met her, but she's dead anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But I like the fact that in the first episode, going back to that cold open where we see the last, what Tywin thinks is the last Stark's sword being melted down, we see Arya get her sword needle back.
Yeah.
And then her start to take her vengeance out.
Yep.
On the people who wronged her.
She kills her first man.
Yeah,
She killed the boy before.
Yeah,
she kills her first man in this season.
Mm-hmm. With needle. And
knows where the heart is.
Yeah, exactly. Now, yeah.
The Hound is like her mentor, like in a way.
And then we see their relationship kind of like they have to pretend that that's her dad when that farmer and her daughter they meet them, and then the Hound kind of promises like I'll do fair work for fair pay, and then he just steals his silver, and then she's like, well, why did you do that? He's like, he's weak. He doesn't need silver. He'll be dead by winter. And then you just see their relationship kind of like, even though she wants to kill him.
She wants to believe that he doesn't suck, too.
Yeah.
She might cross the name off of her list if maybe he proves that he is a, decent human being. But
he continues not to.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but to see her, kind of darken and harden.
Yes.
More and more and more, and just become more of just a weapon.
Yeah.
It's like Needle's not the weapon, she is.
Yeah.
And just her kind of embracing that is very interesting to see. And she does that through the entire season, even to the point where at the end when she could have killed the Hound and, so he wouldn't suffer, to see her just look at him.
Yeah.
And not take pity on it.
She's sort of reveling in this moment. She's like, this is what I waited for.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it was, those moments where she got a better sense of him, like what happened with his brother, why it hurt him so much, and he drops a little, these emotional little nuggets, and it's like his humanity, right? And I think she saw him as a monster this whole time. So I think, she was sort of looking at him dying, like, all right, I'm enjoying this, but I'm not going to pull the final trigger because, number one, he's, it's kind of unarmed and it probably wouldn't have been very satisfying for her. But two, I think she's grown to like him a little bit and respect him in a certain way.
I think that for, even though he didn't think so, that's her mercy. Mm-hmm. Is that I'm not going to kill you. I just let the element... I'll just let you die. I'm not going to kill you, even though you're on my list. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to use Neil to kill you. That's her mercy. Yeah. Even though you don't see that as mercy.
Also, he says, "Oh, killed by a woman," and I think Arya's like, "I'll take that. That's good enough for me."
Yeah, that is good enough. The Hound getting killed by a woman. Yeah, that's also how you die. Yeah. It's a woman killed you. Whether if I do it or Brienne does it, it's just a way of your just desserts in a sense.
I felt really sad because I like the Hound.
Yeah,
I want him to live.
Well, you want him to live, but again, he's not a nice guy. He's not a good guy.
No, but there's good hope for him.
There's good qualities in
hope.
him.
Yeah.
Because he just sees the world as it is. Yeah. It's like why does this farmer need that silver? He's going to die. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take it from him. I'm just going to do what I think is right because this is the way the world... He sees exactly the world as it is, and he's not ashamed of it. Yeah. So, in a sense, that's honorable, and again, he's just a bad guy. He's just a bad guy. So, you don't want to see him die because at the end of the day, he is protecting her. Yeah. Because once he realizes, there's no one to sell her to, he's like, her dad's dead, her mom's dead, her brother's dead, her aunt's dead. I'm looking out for her now. it's like that's nice in a way, but
Yeah.
again, he's still a bad guy, so he does have to kind of get his comeuppance in a way. So when you see it happen, you're like, oh, but yeah, you kind of deserved it.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I like character arcs like that. I wanted to see the arc come all the way through. Like, he does something really noble and really good.
He does. He fights for her.
Well, yeah, but he fights anyone.
No, but he did fight for her.
Yeah,
Because if he didn't, he could have easily just, fuck it. I'm not getting any gold out of it. I'm not getting any money out of this. You could take her. What do I care?
I guess that's true.
Yeah, so we do see his arc come to a conclusion where he literally almost fights to the death. And that's a brutal fight. It's hard to see women get beat up. But she wins, but
I was laughing because it just felt like it kept going. Like, just like,
and then hitting him with a rock and stuff.
It's like, like at some point I was just laughing.
I can't, it was just very hard. It's hard for me to watch that, but, yeah, but I think, I disagree with you. I think we do see his arc concluded where he does, because the old Hound wouldn't have done that.
No, I still think that it was Brienne who was threatening first. So, like, it's not like he's like, I'm going to fight you. It was sort of like he's protecting them because she comes at him first.
Well, yeah, but he could have easily just gave her up. Like, you want to have her? I don't care.
Yeah, but I think
like
he's
almost like, give me that sword.
He likes a fight, though.
Yeah, but he could have almost been like, give me that sword and I'll let you have her. Almost like he could have tried to negotiate.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I'm fighting. I'm protecting her.
Yeah.
You're here to protect her. No, I'm protecting her.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we see more of. Because we don't know if he's dead or not yet at this point. So hopefully we see more of his arc.
We kind of see where he says, like, if there's not a master over that rock, pretty much jump for his leg is broken.
But we still don't know. Game of Thrones has proven to us that, and we know he's alive.
I mean, it's one of the things, like, if you don't see a body, you can't assume that, but...
There you go. Yep. The Lord of Light.
We don't know.
Lord of Light will save him.
We never know. But
I mean, we do. I've seen the whole series.
Yeah. Oh, so have I. But anyway, let's talk about Brienne.
Oh, yeah, Brienne.
So,
she is, there's a nice moment of her and Jaime, at King's Landing, where they kind of agree that they're going to keep their oaths, and she gets her new sword, she gets her new armor, and she gets her new podrick.
Yeah, where she thinks is like...
Reluctantly,
what am I going to do with
course.
this fool?
Yes, reluctantly.
Who can't ride a horse properly, who doesn't know how to cook... she's like, what are you useful? Like, what are you good for? And she's like, she's gonna slow me down.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see their relationship evolve, because she just thinks he's useless.
Yeah.
And has nothing really to offer. He can't fight, he can't cook, can't ride a horse. It's like, what are you good for? He's like, what did you do for Tyrion? He's like, well, I got him his wine, and, I brought him his food that I didn't cook. The cooks cooked that, I just brought it to him, and... send just messages out for him. Like, that's pretty much about it.
He does drop a little nugget of wisdom, though, when they're at the inn. There,
yeah.
I don't think we should be telling people who we're looking for, because she's like, he said, people pay for, for us to be dead or whatever. So, of course, it worked out in their favor. She's like, you were saying.
But he does have a point in the sense that they shouldn't be saying that, because, we have seen how dangerous the world can be.
Valid point.
And they shouldn't be, letting their intentions be known, especially when it comes to the Starks. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like this interesting buddy comedy that we get, this unexpected, this sort of young boy. I don't know, he's what, maybe 17?
Something like that.
And, Brienne is, towering... just beast of a woman, and this is buddy comedy kind of aspect. That's
I'm curious to see how the relationship goes forward.
Right.
Because they're on a mission, and eventually, they're looking for Sansa, but then they find Arya, and no one knew she was alive. And when they hear that news, it's really, she could be alive, and then that plays another dynamic in it, where they could go to. The north, where they think she might go, but it could go to the Eyrie, where they think they might be, and they make the right decision. Yeah. Where Podrick's like, no, we should go to the Eyrie, and he's like, I hope you're right, and it pays off that they were, and then eventually they have
They lose her.
They lose her, and Arya goes on her own way. Which let's go back to that, where she sees a ship, she wants to get on it, she pulls out that coin, she does the magic word.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, you said that word.
On her way to
you get a nice little cabin."
Yeah. So we as audience are sort of like, what is actually going on here? Like, who is Jock and Hagar? What is the situation with the
that coin?
Valar Morghulis and Bravos?
Yeah.
Like, what is that all about?
Like, what does that word even mean? And like, what like
all men must die.
Yeah. Well, but she doesn't know what that means at the point, and like almost comes like a magic oath, like a golden ticket almost. Like once you said that word, like sure, I'll just do whatever it is to help you get where you're going. So we see her on that journey, and the last thing is her on that boat going to on her journey, and it's just her embracing again her destiny in a little bit.
Yep.
It's like she has Needle now.
Yep.
It's her trying to channel being more of a weapon. And she knows going on this journey is going to help. She's not sure how. We're not sure how. But she knows that this is where she needs to go.
Yeah, she has nowhere else to go. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, like, so where would she go? So she's like, okay, I'm going to go to the only place where I was sort of invited.
Yeah.
You know, like, I met this guy here who will kill for me.
Yeah.
I want to be like him.
And he gives her a glimpse when the last time we see him that he puts on a different face.
Yeah, which is like,
and Melisandre kind of tells her that she sees different eyes in her.
Yeah, which is
so maybe that's
nice foreshadowing.
Maybe that's a clue for us and for her that my destiny is to
become a faceless man.
Is be a faceless person.
Yes.
So we have that to look forward to in season 5, and I can't wait to dive into that. But discussion for another day.
Well, as you mentioned, Melisandre, we should talk about her in that situation with the brothers without banners, which happens early on. But we see that the Lord of Light actually can bring people back to life.
Yes. We see another aspect of his power.
Beric Dondarrion, who just keeps coming back, and
come back 6 times.
And the Red Woman's like, "Who gave you this power?" He's just like,
"I don't know.
I mean, the Lord of Light just, you know,
I said the words and he came back,
and he did the rest."
Yeah.
And she's like, "But you're drunk." He's like, "Whatever."
Whatever.
So yeah, obviously Melisandre was there to take Gendry away because they needed the king's blood. Yeah. Right. So they travel back to Dragonstone, where they're still hanging out after being defeated, and Melisandre sees that this is the only way to drop the leeches with Gendry's king's blood into the fire. And there's one for Joffrey, and there's one for whoever else.
Well, there's one for Robb.
Robb, yep.
Yeah, and then so was it the Lord of Light that did that?
Yeah.
I mean, Melisandre would be the one to say yes. Like, Lord of Light did that.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
Yep.
I mean, she has powers, no denying that, but I think she's playing her own little game too.
Well, she even said that she has all these potions and tricks and stuff that lead people to
believe
the truth,
that
but
they're
still tricks.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think she's as powerful as she lets on, but she tells her story so convincingly that when a beautiful woman tells a man whatever, it's hard to not believe her.
Yeah.
So, and she used that to her advantage all the time.
All the time. So there's definitely some drama there in Dragonstone because Davos is in the dungeons now because he, still does not believe that she is the answer to winning the war. Not only that, but he thinks that she's pretty much just an evil person. Yeah. You're just burning people alive now. You can't just do that. No. That's not how you win wars, men win wars. Men on the ground win wars. We need money, we need all this stuff. We don't need spells and tricks,
I mean, and it's just that the world doesn't understand that. They understand the old ways, where it's just dragons don't win battles, men win battles.
Yeah.
Magic doesn't win battles, men win battles.
Yeah.
Armies win battles, ships win battles, gold win battles. Those things are important, not this stupid Lord of Light. That doesn't do anything.
Right. And Davos is one of my favorite characters.
I love him.
He's such a great guy, our little friendly onion knight. Yeah, I know. But we meet Shiree, Stannis' daughter, as well.
Yeah.
Which obviously she has a connection to Davos that teaches him how to read, which turns out to be important for him.
It does.
We really like this little girl. She clearly has an issue with her face, which they haven't explained yet what that's all about.
That could be one of the reasons why she's locked away, maybe, because they're ashamed of what she is.
Right. Well, I think
degree.
Stannis' wife really wanted to bear a son.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And then the only child they have is kind of deformed, so she's kind of locked away. And
yeah.
We don't 100% know that, but that's that's what it looks like.
But what's interesting about Shiree is that she's somewhat of a weakness for Stannis. Like, you know, he says, she's my daughter. Like, you will not raise a hand to her.
We're not strike her.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, we kind of see, like, okay, he still loves his daughter, even though he's kind of lost his way in a lot of other ways. He still has this soft spot for his daughter. Yeah. Which will become important, I think. Yeah. Just kind of this mess of a situation over there. They go to Braavos to ask the Iron Bank for some money.
Yeah, that's the first time we see the Iron Bank.
Yes, which they talk about
we've heard about
a lot.
Before. Yep. Now we actually get to see it.
Yeah, well, we see Braavos in general. We see the giant, Colossus man.
And how did the sword break? That's what I'm curious about. Because, like, you wouldn't build it with just like the hilt and a little bit of sword.
It just wasn't built very well. I don't know.
Maybe we'll find out one day.
Yeah, one day.
Or maybe it's in the books.
Maybe.
If it's in the books, comment below.
Yes.
But yeah, we see how the Iron Bank is just very cold, and like it's stated before we see them, is that they'll always find a way to get their gold, and they only invest in sure things.
Well, right. They're like the numbers talk.
Yeah,
numbers talk.
They're very analytical in the sense that they put their money in sure things and things that they believe in. Yeah. And they're very invested in the Lannisters. But Davos pretty much and he proves them right in the sense that with Tyrion, Tywin is like in his 60s, and once he's gone, what the Lannisters their name doesn't hold as much weight. And he kind of convinces them to give Stannis some money. How much we don't know, but obviously he does have enough to satisfy them to make their journey worthwhile. So Davos is very, very he's loyal to Stannis, and he's doing what he thinks is best. But I still think
doesn't like the meth.
He still doesn't like the fact that Melisandre's burning people. Yeah. Like he's not 100% on board with the Lord of Light. Because he's a man of the old ways. Yeah, we don't know if we trust Melisandre either. Like as an audience, we're kind of like, yeah, I think she's done some despicable things, but also like maybe she's right, and you know what I mean? Like we're not quite sure yet. And I love that moment where Stannis' wife goes in and she's having a bath. Yeah. And his wife's like, well, did the Lord of Light told you to, or did you use a trick to make Stannis have sex with you? She's like, no. No. Did you use one of these potions? Nah, I didn't need that. She's like, no, didn't need that. No, she's like, obviously. I was like, I just think that's funny. I don't know. Well, I mean, but again, it goes to show you, like, if she was an ugly woman, making all these claims, she might not get as far. But she looks the way she looks, and like how she was manipulate Stannis, how she was able to manipulate Gendry. She uses her tools to her advantage. It works. And she's another one playing her game. To what end, we don't know. Like obviously, she thinks at this point that not only Stannis is a true king, but he's the person who's going to lead them. The prince that was promised. Into the battle against the White Walkers. So they end up going north, which we didn't expect. Not at all. But so when they show up at the end, Red Woman says. Yeah, when they show up at the end, it's unexpected. And when they're taking out the wildlings, that's kind of it. Really comes out of left field. It's like, oh wow, Stannis went north. And then we're not sure how that's gonna play out with Jon Snow and the rest of the wildlings, and so that's interesting. We have that to look forward to in season 5. Yeah, absolutely. So as long as we're up there, we can talk about all the stuff that happened at the Wall. This is a very wall heavy, a very north heavy season. I feel we get that episode. That's the whole episode is just the battle. Yeah.
where the wildlings attack.
And they've been like
Castle
making
Black.
their way to Castle Black this entire season.
Yep.
Like on the road to Black, Castle Black is kind of, and like the battles along the way.
Yep.
And but that episode at Just the Wall is very, very intense.
It is.
And we do see kind of Jon take the leadership role that we've been seeing him building up to that.
Yeah, but probably still won't get credit for it, you know.
Probably not, but Jon, we know.
Yeah, we see you, Jon.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm in House Stark.
Yeah, so we see our first mammoth also.
Yes.
Which is like, what else do they got up there? You
I know it's
kind of
like the Wildlings got a whole bunch of tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah.
Even though, like Jon has said, that they've kind of tried this before, but they've never gotten this far.
Yeah, because they've never been quite as organized.
Organized,
I
yeah.
think.
And it's nice to see them organized, where they actually kind of plan out, where like, all right, you guys are gonna sneak in and fight at Castle Black, and we'll fight at the wall.
Open the
So
gate,
it's nice to see them kind of work together in their battle plans. They actually have a battle plan.
Right.
But unfortunately, it didn't work out the way they wanted.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, all they want is to just go south.
Yeah.
That's all they want, because they're like, we don't want to be up here.
No, they know what's happening.
Yeah.
More so than anybody else.
So they're not like the real enemy. So it's like frustrating to watch everyone die, because it's like, you're on the same side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, ultimately. Like, so that's why it's really hard to just watch everybody kill each other.
Well, because
there's of course the cannibals that I don't feel bad for.
Well, no, but even so, they want to come north too. They just want to eat humans along the way. But it just goes to the fact where how this show just reminds you with that fact that you just said, that a lot of people are just stuck in the old ways and the old understanding. Like wildlings are just like savages.
Yeah, they want us all dead.
Yeah,
we want you dead because you don't treat us as equals.
Yeah. And a lot of them do come to a lot of the wildlings are still in the old ways, in the sense of like, oh, we just got to kill crows.
Yeah.
Like they could have tried to have been more diplomatic in their views, and were like, we don't want to fight. We just want to come north of the wall so we don't get killed.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of them are still like, no, kill crows, kill crows. Mm-hmm. So you're right. It is they are on the same side in the sense that they're all. We all gonna have to fight the Night King at some point, and we can talk about that in a little bit. Is the sense that, I forgot what my point was gonna make, but
we're all the same on the inside.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate that they just couldn't come to an understanding.
Yeah, and so we see Jon's girlfriend die, Ygritte, which is an important moment for him. But
which is sad.
I don't really care, because I never particularly liked them as a couple. I just feel like
them as a couple.
She's like, I'm gonna be loyal to your woman. It's like, whoa, this is like not the relationship that I would want. Well, so, it's kind of like...
I like their relationship, and I like how she showed them a different side of things. Because Jon's mindset is in the old ways, where it's just the wildlings wanted to kill, us.
Well, sure, they were good for each other in terms that they taught each other things. Yeah. But, like, I find it hard to care, like when she died, I was like, okay. Yeah,
but she wasn't gonna kill him, and he wasn't gonna kill her.
Right.
That little boy's like, get revenge for killing my parents.
Ollie,
you little brat. We didn't want you to kill her. Why'd you do that?
I didn't care. Really.
I cared. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I just like what she brought out of him. And it's funny the fact that the entire season she's like, oh, I'm going to kill Jon Snow. Jon Snow is mine. No one touched Jon Snow. I'm going to kill Jon Snow. And then she had her opportunity. She had him. And she just couldn't do it because she loves him. Yeah. And he loved her.
Well, who knows what would have happened if Ollie didn't come along with the arrow.
She wouldn't have done it. She wouldn't have done it.
She shot him before.
Yeah, but that was just her getting her anger out. Like, because if she wanted him dead, he would have been dead. Like, there's no debating that. Yeah. And I don't think she would have she wouldn't have shot him. Or if she did, she would have just been like...
aimed a little lower.
She don't want to aim too low. She might have just shot him in the arm or something like that, but she would not have killed him. I'm 100% sure of that.
Maybe.
Then we don't know if she would have, gone with Jon. And I'll take you to Winterfell. No, I'll take you to Winterfell. Like... If they would have, stayed together, we'll never know.
It wouldn't, and it was doomed from the start.
It was kind of considering the circumstances, how they met and fell in love, and
because they would keep her prisoner at, they would execute her the way that they were gonna probably execute all the other wildlings that they captured at Castle Black.
Maybe, yeah. It would have put him in a position where it's like,
yeah.
it's us, it's your duty or her.
Yeah, it's kind of the only way the relationship could end. It's like,
maybe.
She's gotta die.
And then he burns her body, and then the last thing she says, like, I never want to leave that cave. And
yeah.
like, maybe we'll go back there one day.
We've all been in situations like that. Not dying particularly,
but
that feeling of like, why did we messed up and like this? Like, basically what she was saying in that moment is like, why are we fighting? Like this sucks.
Like we could have it could have just been us.
Yeah, we could have just not played this game and just yeah. So that's a relatable moment for sure.
Yeah, and it was a nice moment where after she gets shot and then she's just holding her. And the fighting's happening around them.
Yeah. But
it all doesn't really matter at that point. It's just them.
Yeah, it is. It is a well crafted moment.
Mm-hmm.
For
it
sure.
really is.
But they end up winning. So so they take captive Tormund and a bunch of the other wildlings. They agree that they're going to burn the dead.
Yeah.
So it all turns out okay.
Yeah.
But we're still kind of wondering how the dynamic's going to go. Now that Stannis is there too, it's kind of like, okay, now there's some things that we're not sure how it's all going to be handled. But Jon decides that, the attacks are going to keep coming. So he goes out to the north to find Mance Rayder to like either kill him
or
talk
about surrender.
But that's when Stannis marches in before he gets a chance to really do anything.
And then when Stannis finds out that who Jon is, we're curious to see that relationship too, because like he tells Jon, it's because of your dad, who pretty much said to me like, oh, I should be king, and he died because of that. So I'm curious to see their relationship evolve from that, because he now knows that all the other Starks are either dead or presumed dead.
Yeah.
So how is that relationship going to evolve? Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we just have like one more thing to talk about, which is Bran. And I guess we could talk about Sam and Gilly, but like I feel like nothing much happens there that's going to be necessarily important for the seasons going forward, outside of the fact that they clearly have this like relationship and care about each other. But there's not much outside of that. The thing we do get to see though is that White Walkers can be killed.
Yes.
So that's an important thing. And we need to know that we have hope.
Yeah.
And it's the dragon glass that Sam finds by the fist north of the wall. So having that knowledge, that's interesting.
Yes.
And
it's important information going forward. But let's talk about the Greyjoys.
Oh yeah, okay. We can do that. So we see Theon, who is now Reek, as a product of being tortured for what, like a year? Like how long was he?
A long time.
Actually there. So I mean,
he's a broken man.
Ramsay really, broke him down, and he's basically just like a pet now.
To the point where they're going on that hunt with that girl, and he's pretty much like a dog.
Yeah.
In the sense, kind of like running with the dogs.
Yeah.
And they're Ramsay he's a new bad guy. He's a new tormentor.
Oh, we love to hate him. We love to hate him.
Yeah, we really, really do. And then we see him just literally like. We see the effects of him breaking like how Reek became Reek, but then we also see him protecting Reek and like making sure that he doesn't. He's broken him so much that he trusts him. And almost like he's like he's his little servant.
He's his pet now.
And then
which it becomes clear when Yara comes to save him, and he won't go.
He won't go.
He's like, I'm not Theon, I'm Reek.
Yeah.
I'm Reek. And I'm not going. I'm not gonna leave.
Because he knows what would happen if he tried. Well, he thinks he knows, but he doesn't want any more torture. So he's trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like no, if I admit that I'm Theon, I'll get in trouble.
Well, he probably thinks it's a trick too.
Well, because he's been tricked. He's been tricked before.
Psychologically manipulated that he's like, my sister doesn't want to save. No, that's not her, or she wants me dead, or Ramsay tricked her somehow, or something.
Yeah,
because like, I just want to stay in my cage. I just want to stay in my cage.
Yeah.
Don't take me away.
Because after every time he's been tricked, he's been punished.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not falling for this again. I don't want to, like, what else are they going to cut off this time? Yeah. My arm maybe? Who knows? So he's like, I'm weak. I'm staying in this cage.
Then he gets a nice bath.
Yeah, for him.
So like a reward.
Yeah.
So it's, it's like Pavlovian in a way. Where it's like, you do a thing that's good.
Yeah, and just to see him shave him too is just like, where you would think like, you could just easily just cut his throat and be done with him. But he's trained well.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And see Ramsay eventually get his last name.
Yeah.
And how important that's probably going to be going forward. That he's a Bolton now. He's not a Snow.
A bastard. Yeah.
Even though he is still a bastard, but he has the last name, which is in this world we know if you don't have a last name you're nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So he's a Bolton now, and what that means going forward.
Yeah, we see he's feeling pretty confident about it, so we're kind of like, ooh, what does this mean?
That kind of that might embolden him even more so than it did before.
Yeah,
which is kind of scary.
And Theon is sent to, I can't remember the name of the place that the rest of the Ironborn, where everyone's sick.
Yeah.
What's the name? I don't remember, but sent by Ramsay as Theon.
I need you to pretend you're somebody that you're not.
That you're not. And he does a good job until it looks like maybe they're onto him.
Yeah.
And like, who are you really? And he's like, God. He's like, oh no.
Starts
you
to
can
break.
see him, and it's
slowly
like,
unraveling.
So sad.
It's an amazing transformation.
Yeah.
That he's made. Where he's like, you need to pretend that you're not somebody. You're present yourself. It's like so much manipulation that's gone on between the two of them, where he's completely and hopelessly lost in this Reek Fasana.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really know who he is anymore.
Yeah.
And you still feel bad. I feel bad for him, even though like he did what he did. He doesn't deserve this.
Yeah.
Where he's been completely and 100% broken and brainwashed. Mm-hmm. He doesn't. No one deserves that.
Yeah. So now we're definitely on. We hated him at one point, and now we're on his side. We want him to find some way to either escape or murder Ramsay.
Because like when he's shaving him, like slit his throat. Do it. And I'm like, oh god. Damn it, man.
Yeah, so that's rough to watch.
He's just disappointed. Like he has his opportunities to do stuff right, and he just doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's curious to see where their relationship is going to go as we move forward. But I think it's time to talk about Daenerys. We seem to always leave her last sometimes.
Well, I know. I thought we were hanging in the north, though. We could talk about Bran.
Let's talk about Bran. Yeah.
So long as we're still sort of in the north, on the Westeros side of things. So Bran has finally made his way to the Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah. Or what he thinks is the Three-Eyed Raven.
Right. They're in a pretty magical place. They find the old weirwood tree north of the wall, which is a really beautiful, haunting shot.
Yeah.
It's like the sun's coming up and it's
just seems like it just comes out of like dreary. Oh, beautiful tree. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So they make it all the way there. The army of the dead, I guess, bursts from the ground and tries to kill them, which I still think is kind of curious.
Kills the other boy.
I'm not sure how that happens, because why are they underground?
Well, they've been buried.
Why are they alive, though?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
Or why they come alive, we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're to protect the tree.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but also, shouldn't the tree know not to kill people who are friendly? Anyway, whatever.
But it didn't kill who was important.
Well, the children of the my dragon. The children of the forest are, throwing like spirit bombs out at the. So anyway, we meet the children of the forest, like who were there before the first men.
Yeah.
And we kind of go down this weird root situation where we're like, what is going on? There's like human bones where I'm just like, why are there human bones in there?
Yeah.
Like, who are these people? What's going on? And it's very mysterious. And Bran's like, oh, you're going to make me walk again? He's like, no, but you will fly. So it's like, okay, is he going to be the Three-Eyed Raven? Like, that makes sense.
And what does that mean?
Yeah.
We still don't know, like the whole season we're seeing him use his powers.
Yeah.
We don't know 100%. And he's learning to use them more effectively.
Yeah, he's getting good at warging.
Like when he takes over Hodor.
Yeah.
Like Hodor's more of a badass when he's being controlled.
Yeah.
Instead of just Hodor. It's like Hodor, kill.
We love Hodor.
Yeah, it's so innocent.
Well, there's an interesting moment. Talking of warging, there's an interesting moment in season 4 where Mira and Jojen are telling Bran, like, stop warging. That's not good. You're gonna lose who you are.
Like don't spend too much time there.
Yeah, you're gonna forget me. You're gonna forget your family. And I think that's an important thing to say because they really hammered that home.
Yeah.
Like it might actually happen. So I'm kind of interested to see, because otherwise, I don't know why those lines of dialogue would be in there if they didn't serve some kind of purpose. So I think we're gonna see him at some point maybe get into a little trouble with the warging.
Yeah.
But we don't know because we don't fully understand the powers. Like you were saying, we don't fully understand how this magic works and how this
what the rules are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is he going to use it going forward, and what meeting the Three-Eyed Raven means.
Right.
So again, that's for season 5 to discover. But it's also interesting to see him when he has the opportunity to meet Jon, and he could easily just go with Jon if he just called out for him, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Because he's on his own path.
Yeah.
Even though he's not 100%, well, he may understand, but we don't understand what that path entails besides just getting to the Three-Eyed Raven.
Right.
We don't know yet what that 100% means.
And I think Jojen knows the whole time.
Yeah, he knows.
He can't really say anything because it might...
Well, it'll change.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he's
the
foreseen
trajectory,
it.
Yeah.
He's foreseen his own death, too, but he can't... Yeah. If you say something, then it might change the outcome. Yeah. So it's like, even though you've seen it, you can't... If you say something, it changes what you've seen. So.
Not if you see something, say something.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic, because, like, I know stuff, but if I tell you what I know, I wasn't supposed to tell you what I know, so if I tell you what I know, it changes what I know.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a weird position he's in.
Yeah. And
it's weird to see your own death and you can't tell anybody about it, or can't do anything to stop it.
Yeah, that would be kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So now we can talk about Daenerys. I just wanted to mention that they made it north of the wall and all that.
Yeah.
So Daenerys has been freeing slaves all over the place. Has taken up in Meereen.
The breaker of chains.
And decides, you know what, I'm going to rule here for a while.
Yeah.
Because, everybody's slipped back into their old ways. Like all the other cities that she's been to in Slaver's Bay have sort of slipped back into slavery. Yeah. And she's like, how can I possibly rule the Seven Kingdoms if I can't even rule Slaver's Bay?
Yeah.
So she decides she's going to sort of practice to be a queen here. And so you see her sitting there on the throne, and all the people come in and they want to talk to her, and she's realizing how hard it actually is,
how annoying and boring
it
is just to sit there and have people one by one come in and like bitch and complain.
But they're
for lack of a better word.
Yeah, but they're all like difficult decisions that she has to make too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like easy stuff. It's sort of like, okay, my dragons killed your little boy.
Well, first they kill some
sheep,
goats,
right?
And it's like, I'll just
I'll pay you, exactly. But then
no big deal.
Then one of the masters comes in and is like, you killed my father. Let me bury him. And she's wrestling with the idea that
showing mercy.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, we get the slave that comes in and is like, when you liberated us, I became, like, destitute, homeless. Please let me go back to my master.
Yeah,
she's like, what?
Which she would have never asked, like, oh, I freed you. Do you want to go back?
Yeah, but she ends up seeing the light on that one.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, a lot of stuff that she has to deal with, that she's finding that it's being really difficult to be
It's hard to rule.
It's hard to rule.
And rule well. So.
Yeah, we also see my dragon.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I should lock her in the dungeon.
Speaking of which.
In the crypts.
So
that's the last episode, the children of this season, where she brings her 2 remaining dragons down into the crypts and chains them up there, which is so hard to watch.
She go down all willy-nilly, like, ooh, there's food down here.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, sheep. That was hard to watch because...
the bigger one she doesn't do.
Well, Drogon's... We don't know where he is.
Yeah, he just flew away.
Yeah, he's somewhere just burning little girls and stuff like that, so...
Playing out his own game. So, that was a hard scene for her to do because that is her children and to seeing... And that's also her power, too. She knows that she can't take Westeros without them, but just to put them in that crypt and to chain them up. It's one thing to put them down there, but to chain them up.
Right, just down there in darkness.
It's something that
not a good
she didn't want to do, but she had to do.
Right. Well, similarly, Jorah is dismissed from her
banned.
Because we find out that he's been spying for her.
Well, she finds out.
Well, we knew that. Yeah, we knew that. But
one of those things that you're reminded of it, but it doesn't come back for a while. It's like, hey, remember when he did that? Yeah, it's coming. Chickens come to roost now. It's like, oh, she finds out about it.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think that the dagger, what seals his fate is like when she's like, did you tell him about the baby?
Yeah.
And then she's like, Khaleesi, don't call me that. Did you tell him about the baby? And he's like, yeah, I didn't. And that was just like what sealed his fate with her.
Yeah.
And
which is also really sad.
Yeah, and the fact that she would, like, during that scene, she wouldn't really look at him.
Yeah.
Because it is breaking her heart, the fact that, like, I trusted you.
Yeah.
It
was like her best friend.
Like, you were kind of like the first person to like, like, swear to me your loyalty, and you betrayed me in this way.
Yeah. In
such a sensitive way. Like,
yeah,
you did save me, but that wine was almost presented to me because of you.
Yeah.
Like, you caused all this.
Yeah.
So
we don't know where he's going.
No, it's just
we know that he was given a pardon, and Daenerys is like,
go
get your pardon.
If it's still available to you,
Yeah, but we don't know where he's going. Yeah,
we don't know.
We just see him riding away.
Right away, slowly away, because we know he doesn't want to leave Dany's side because he's in love with her.
Yeah.
And he knows that she is going to do great things. We don't know what those great things are yet, but he can see the good that she's doing and the person she's becoming, and he wants to be by her side to make sure that she doesn't do anything that she will regret. He's kind of, for lack of a better word, her conscience in a way, making sure she doesn't, be too vengeful. Shows a little bit of mercy.
Right. And does things the smart way.
Does things not only the smart way, the right way. Yeah. Because she doesn't know how to rule.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to play this game yet.
Yeah.
The way she's has to now play it. So, it's sad for him to go, but he knows, like, he did. He doesn't deny it. Yeah, I did it. It wasn't his best moment. He wishes he could take it back, but he can't. Because I think at that point it was just a job, but until, like, at some point he had feelings for her, and he saved her life. But it is what it is, and you're right. We just see him riding away. We don't know where he's going. We don't know what he's doing, and we don't know where it leaves Dany in the sense that, like, who does she really confide in? Who does she trust?
I guess it would be Sir Barristan.
Yeah, but he's more of just part of her Kingsguard. I don't see her. It's one thing to go over strategy with him, but it's another thing to confide in him and ask questions to. I don't think that's not what their dynamic is. So I'm curious who she's going to have that with now.
Right. We don't know.
Don't know. And we see her, take some pleasures from being queen now.
I would too.
Which is nice. And
he obviously wasn't that good because she's like, no, go to that other city and hang out there.
Well, but I get. I mean, you could look at it that way, or just like, you're a temptation, go away.
I don't like sending temptations away.
Well, so
I like to indulge in them.
Well, she did indulge in them. She was like, take off your clothes.
Again and again is what I mean.
Well, we don't know how many times. Maybe just the once, but we don't know. But it's nice to see her, use her power and, like, because she's, her only other relationship, it was forced upon her.
Yeah.
And she was raped.
Yeah.
It's nice to see her use her sexuality when she wants to, not when it's convenient for somebody else.
This is true. And also, it just seems like she's just getting more comfortable.
Yeah.
Which is good, because we're kind of wondering, how is she going to make it to the Seven Kingdoms? Turns out, at least in this season, she's like, I don't really want to try to make it over there yet.
Not just yet.
So she's like kind of settling in, is what I get from that. So, so yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah. So
there's always a lot of, like, little threads that I'm sure we didn't discuss, but we'll maybe come back to when we talk about season 5.
Yeah, because I mean, even though things happen in certain seasons, it all really does bleed together. So a certain thing might happen in season 1 that comes to play in season 2 or 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So even though if we didn't talk about it now, if it was important, we will talk about it because if something relevant that happened, it will come back to play later on. We just don't know where or when or how.
Yes.
So, if you've watched the entire thing, thank you for sticking around. What are your guys' thoughts? Is this your favorite season like it is ours? If so, why? Anything that you want to talk about that we didn't, or what are your thoughts about things that we did talk about? Did you like how they structured this season where we saw pretty much the whole season was fallout, not just building up to a main event? Just curious about thoughts about season 4 or any of the prior seasons. Start the conversation below. Also, like, subscribe, do all those great things. Be sure to hit that notification bell when we release the rest of the recaps you do. We've also did a preview of the trailer that just came out. We'll also do a video of predicting what's going to happen before Season 8 comes out. And then when Season 8 does come out, we'll do an episode breakdown when that does come out. So you can look forward to that.
So much stuff.
Which we are looking forward to.
Absolutely.
But until then, I am Sean, House of Stark, first of his name.
First of his name? Oh, I'm Alex, first of her name. The Targaryen, obviously.
Yeah.
My dragon's been running around this whole time, so yeah, I'm gonna have to chain her out in the dungeon.
Yeah, unfortunately. But until then, take care, guys, and winter is still coming.
See ya.